So we have our second of 6 heats for Junior Rotax. Let's have a look at the grid for you. So on pole position, it will be Italy's Alberto Chico Fracassi, running under the Strawberry Racing awning this weekend. Bruno Molrers from JJ Racing representing the Netherlands joins him on the front row. Marius Roos and Theo Blin from Denmark and France respectively, that's row 2. Aaron Krepsik and Alexander Skelton from Hungary and Latvia round out the top 3 rows. Daniel Sugar from Hungary and Louis Comin from France, that's row 4, along with the top 10 being completed by Poland's David Outleitner in the 265 and Denmark's Mikkel Pedersen in the 255. Good to see Casper Schormans from the Netherlands back in action for SP Motorsport. The 244 from the Netherlands will start 11th and will have Maxim Socherko alongside in the 238. Nick Trobeck in the 280 will have Pietro Santesi in the 252 alongside. Chloe Chong from Great Britain in the 218 will have Frederick Zebis from Denmark. Then it's Vic Stevens and Federico Strazzari rounding out the 18 strong, as they'll now get themselves ready for battle. Another 7 minutes plus an additional lap before we make our way into the halfway point of this first third of the day here at Adria Karting Raceway, or the second round of the season. Air temperature approximately 21 degrees Celsius as Alberto Chico Fracassi and Bruno Molders get themselves ready and start controlling proceedings. So we've had 2 clean starts so far. Will we have another one? 3 clean starts so far. Will we have another one here in race 4 out of 24 here today? Out of the final corner they come. Into the tram lines they go. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights out, they're off and away racing, and it looks to be a very, very big scramble going into turn 1 for the first time. And it looks like Theo Blin has already got up into 3rd place past Marius Roos, as there's some side-by-side action. I think that was Chloe Chong at the far back, or the back part of the field, going side-by-side with Vic Stevens going through the exit of turn 2 as it's 3 wide for 3rd place, going into the hairpin. Oh my goodness me. Oh, now things have really started to come alive. That was a brilliant exchange there. And that was between Marius Roos, I think Theo Blin in there. Alexander Skelton getting stuck in there too, amongst others. And good to see the young Latvian with us here in Junior Rotax this weekend. But you can just see how ultra competitive it is as we go round to complete lap number 1. So, Alberto Chico Fracassi leads by just under 4 tenths ahead of Bruno Molders. Marius Roos from Denmark ahead of Theo Blin, with Alexander Skelton now having made his way from 6th to 5th position and is looking to push forward. He's closing on France's Theo Blin, I believe, going into the turn 5 hairpin, but he's got to watch out for Aaron Krepsik, who tries to go up the inside, but Skelton having absolutely none of it. David Outleitner also closing in with those in front, and he's trying to close in on Hungary's Daniel Sugar, who's running with KSB on the Cosmic chassis. 5.5 minutes still to go, and when you're at the front of the field, you actually get a really good amount of clear air, so that is why Alberto Chico Fracassi has the fastest lap in his... and it's David Outleitner manages to squeeze it around the outside of Daniel Sugar. That's a move I've not seen here at Adria through that particular section, but good credence by the Polish driver to get past. The battle for the lead is really heating up because Alberto Chico Fracassi still leads, but Bruno Molders goes for the lead now and takes the position away from the Italian. Now Marius Roos trying to go up the inside of Fracassi and gets up into 2nd position. Good racing by these 3, but Bruno Molders waited for his opportunity and struck whilst the iron was hot rather early in this race, but that's allowing him an opportunity. Fracassi back on the counter-offensive against Marius Roos, but the Dane not giving up, not letting him go by, and they nearly tangled wheels, which saw that Fracassi had to back out of it. Now that's put him in the path of the 2 behind. So Theo Blin will be the next one to try and close in. As you can see that Alexander Skelton having to wait and see what happens behind it, because he's got Daniel Sugar and David Outleitner behind, as there goes Theo Blin. Is that going to be a move up the inside of Fracassi? Could be the case. French driver sweeps to the right, then to the left, can't get past, but then all of a sudden Aaron Krepsik from KMS Europe goes up the inside and takes fourth from the French driver. Well and truly alive in junior Rotax as always, but Alexander Skelton's having a real scrap of his own, and that's with Daniel Sugar as it's 3 wide going into the next hairpin. Someone could end up on the outside or the inside, exiting stage left or right, and luckily enough, they all made it through. Oh my goodness me, and at the back of that train is Casper Schormans from the Netherlands. Well, everyone wanted some exciting racing. Well, we've got it here. Someone's gone off a little bit off the track. I think quarter left rear wheel on the grass coming out of the final corner, kicking up the dust. And in terms of peripheral vision, that can sometimes hinder a driver behind, but nevertheless, it's still all kicking off. And Alexander Skelton still holding on to 6th position, which is exactly where he started in this race. He was looking rather good to maybe get into the top 3, but now he's having to battle with Mikkel Pedersen, who's up from 10th to 7th position, having got past Daniel Sugar and David Outleitner, and now Pedersen trying to force the issue. Skelton hanging on, and there is a move from Daniel Sugar, who saw the door wide open, courtesy of the attack by Mikkel Pedersen on Alexander Skelton. So on that particular occasion, Skelton was able to recoup, but Daniel Sugar now is actually ahead of the Latvian. So Skelton down to 7th position. Meanwhile, Frederick Zebes from Denmark has pulled it into the pits, and that is going to be a retirement, unfortunately, for the driver. There is the stricken cart at the far part of the circuit, so a real shame for the RS competition driver running on the Tony Kart chassis. But Daniel Sugar coming under fire from Alexander Skelton. Behind Mikkel Pedersen, David Outleitner is being hounded and has been passed. Hang on a second. That is Casper Schormans, who's got past Maxim Sochurko and David Outleitner. So again, Casper Schormans, he's the youngest in this class. He's only a mere 11 years of age, and he's really giving the drivers around him that have a bit more experience in this class something to think about, as Alberto Kiko Fracassi, on the completion of lap 6, is now back into 2nd position. But Aaron Krepsik and Theo Black closing in on Marius Rose from Denmark for what is effectively 3rd on the road. We'll maybe even make that 2nd, because Bruno Mulders has now extended a gap to just under 7.5 tenths of a second, whilst those behind him start battling away, as Krepsik looking up the inside of Marius Rose. They nearly tangle wheels there, and Theo Blanc goes up the inside, banzais up the inside of the pair of them to go from 5th to 3rd in one corner. Theo Blanc just absolutely mugged a pair of Aaron Krepsik and Marius Rose going through that corner. Oh, was that a beauty. Well done, Theo Blanc. Magnifique, as they say. That was a brilliant move. But we go into the last 50 seconds, plus an additional lap of this race. Bruno Mulders is starting to extend his gap. Fastest lap from Alberto Kiko Fracassi on lap number 6, but Bruno Mulders has a gap of nearly 9 tenths of a second. Aaron Krepsik not done yet. Oh, clashes with Theo Blanc. Theo Blanc goes up 2 wheels in the air on the left-hand side when Krepsik just sent it from another area code here in northern Italy. And that has really curtailed their respective races, and it was a good showing after that brilliant move from Theo Blanc. Measured it perfectly, but I think Aaron Krepsik was a bit too rambunctious after that one. That might get investigated post-race. But you can see there Alexander Skelton battling away with Mikkel Pedersen. Timing now strike 0. Alberto Kiko Fracassi is within 6.5 tenths of Bruno Mulders, and effectively that is going to be all she wrote, because next time out we are going to have one more lap remaining to go. Alexander Skelton still battling away with Mikkel Pedersen for what is 7th on the road, but just up ahead they've got Daniel Sugar and now the recovering Theo Blanc, because Marius Rose has regained 3rd position as a result of the contact a lap ago between Krepsik and Theo Blanc on that particular occasion. So timer has struck 0, and this time we'll get a final lap board for Bruno Mulders. Gap between him and Alberto Kiko Fracassi has dropped to just under 4/10. So Alberto Kiko Fracassi trying to close in. And you can just see how close some of these other drivers are at the moment, because the gap between Mulders and Fracassi was just over 8/10. And there's another move, and that is Aaron Krepsik trying to get past Marius Roos, but it won't be enough for the Hungarian from KMS Europe. But very shortly the checkered flag is going to be waved, and Bruno Mulders, having started on the front row of the grid in second position, this time around should be taking the checkered flag. And there it is. Bruno Mulders takes the victory from pole position sitting driver Alberto Kiko Fracassi. Marius Roos rounds out the top three. Aaron Krepsik started fifth, finished in fourth position ahead of Theo Blanc, who took fifth position but was on course for fourth place, for third place there. Daniel Sugar finished in sixth, having started in seventh position and finished ahead of Latvia's Alexander Skelton. Mikkel Persson started 10th, finished in 8th, and finished ahead of David Outledner from Poland, who finished exactly where he qualified. But a good run there for Bruno Mulders. So at the moment, JJ Racing provisionally have 2 race victories under their awning at the moment, courtesy of Kai Rielats in the first one, and now Bruno Mulders. So there you can see Kasper Schormans rounds out the top 10 ahead of Maxim Sochurko, Nick Trobek. Chloe Chong made a good run. The young driver from Great Britain, who also has Canadian heritage, managed to finish in 13th ahead of Vic Stevens, Pietro Santesi, amongst other drivers. And Chloe Chong started in 15th position.